I've always had hope for these franchises, which makes moments such as these worth living through and being a part of. And I had the chance to be a part of these moments because of all of you, because you are always and forever. What I would like for you to know is that you are always and forever what's made this channel so special for me. I know there are people out there who more often than enough will say their channel has exploded in popularity because of the Descendants of Zombies content they may have created. But I'll change it up and I'll say from my heart to yours, I wouldn't be here if never for any of you. You guys are what brought me back in a whole new generation of Disney fans that I never imagined would have ever accepted me or my thoughts on franchises such as Descendants of Zombies. I wanted to break it down in ways nobody had ever broken it down before. And it's finally happened. The Descendants 5 teaser trailer has finally dropped. It's finally come out and everybody is in their glee. Everybody is really excited about it, just like I said we would be less than a year ago. Less than a year ago, it was really a hit or miss for me because I predicted that around this time the following year in 2026, we would see the teaser trailer finally come out. And we've been introduced to a lot of new characters in the wake of the promotion. And I think that in the wake of this promotion, it should get us more excited to meet things like Red's new sister Pink, meet characters like Hazel Hook, who are going to offer a lot, and the new take on Maddox Hatter, who Red thought at one point or another was one of her best friends. So not only does she have to save her mom, but she has to save somebody who at one point or another she thought of as her best friend. And I think that a lot of us can relate to that because we've had to save our best friends sometimes more often than enough from situations that they probably could never understand. So again, Descendants of Zombies turns out to be one of the most relatable franchises that have ever happened, that have ever been created. And that's what makes this so lovely to be a part of and to have these conversations with you guys over a cup of tea every night. I think the updated costumes look beautiful. I think the updated music is going to make for a wonderful soundtrack that's really going to set the mood for Descendants of Zombies, a feel-good mood, if you would. And I think that this story is far from over. I just want to put that out there. This story is far from over. It certainly looks like a conclusion. I will admit to that. But I think this story is far from over because why would you introduce? What you've got to think about is why would you introduce all these characters just to close the book? And I'm just going to let you in on a little secret. I've never wanted to close the book. I've always wanted you guys to know that I've hated closing books. I never wanted to say goodbye to High School Musical because I thought it was a lovely trilogy. I never wanted to say goodbye to Hannah Montana because I was her biggest fan. And 15 years after the fact, I still don't want to say goodbye to Descendants of Zombies. Descendants of Zombies has always held a very special place in my heart and will continue to for many years to come. Perhaps it had something to do with the beauty of these characters, their empowerment trip they were on, how they felt so comfortable around each other. There was always something to take away to be appreciative of over this cast because we never saw that with other casts of other franchises. We always saw it with whatever cast we talked about or devoted time for when it came to Descendants of Zombies. Just the level of appreciation that was always in every room they were ever in or whenever they were around each other was notable. And I think that there were more people than ever given credit for who took that away from PR meetings, who took that away from meet and greets, who took that away from the Worlds Collide Tour, and who will once again take it away from Descendants 5 Book of Wonderland, or at least they should. Or at least that's how I've always believed we should look at Descendants of Zombies, because without ever giving it a chance, how can we fall in love with it? And the cool thing is about Descendants of Zombies is we are in an era now where people are watching Descendants of Zombies for the first time ever in their lives. So because us, who are nostalgic Descendants of Zombies fans, have been fans of these franchises and these stories for what must feel like forever for many of us, that allows us to help these people understand what Descendants of Zombies truly means to all of our hearts and what it could mean to all of them. So I think we can welcome them in as a part of this franchise and make them feel comfortable and give them something to believe in because I, for one, have always wanted to believe that this story is far from over. I've hated closing the chapters and closing the books on stories that always and forever deserve more to be seen and more to be told. And I think Descendants of Zombies, with a vast library of characters still yet to have introduced into these franchises and these stories, have yet to come. So that, again, leaves the door more widely open than ever before for something special to really happen. I know that there are a lot of people out there who have kind of taken exception to the new hairstyles of Red and Chloe and the costumes. And I've always believed that the updated costumes for not only just Descendants, but also Zombies was a long time coming. Because again, we're within this empowerment era. And how do you, illustrate empowerment? The best way to do it is by updating the costumes. I think the updated costumes really gives Red and Chloe a lot more strength than they probably had from the original franchise. And I really do believe that this new update will give us a different take on this franchise more than ever before. I think that a lot of people will feel encouraged about this. I think a lot of people will probably become interested in this for the first time ever, and they, in turn, will feel stronger and more confident about their own lives. And I think the updated music, it's obviously very different from, say, Descendants 2, which I watched last night. The music is very different. Songs like Fighting with the Enemy or songs like Perfect Princess, they're very different. I will admit that to you guys. But they are some of the catchiest songs that we've ever heard or seen in our lives that have ever been written for a Descendant script. Like, do you guys remember when they first premiered the song Life is Sweeter When You Were and everybody went crazy over it? Everybody described it as a bubblegum type song, and man, oh man, was it ever a bubblegum type song. It was one of those songs that instantly got stuck in your head. 2 years ago, The Rise of Red premiered that song, and I'm still jamming to it. Every night and every morning, I'm jamming to it. Every night at 11 o'clock, when of course there's a noise restriction, I'm still jamming to it. Because it is a really, really beautiful song. And I think a lot of people took away a lot from that and they felt connected to it. That was really the first song, with the exception of probably Space Between, that we felt connected to for quite some time. Space Between was a song between Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson that was often described as a romantic duet between two best friends. And the reason why it was described as a romantic duet was because of how much they understood each other. And I think this beautiful ballad that Red is going to have for the first time ever, that we still don't know anything about. Kylie Control's been dropping teasers here and there. That's really going to set this thing up, because if Perfect Princess doesn't get it done, we still have a new music video for this one we're waiting on. But if Perfect Princess doesn't get it done for us, this ballad from Red will, because it will allow us to become reintroduced to Red and just find out how strong she actually is. I think she's going to be tested beyond her limits in this one. She's going to be pushed further, and she's going to come out on the other side of the story a much stronger person, a more fearless person than ever before. I will never forget how The Rise of Red opened up. The 90-minute production opened up with the song Red. It was the title track of the movie, and it opened up with this very powerful scene, this very powerful music video where Red was doing everything imaginable. She was jumping off castle walls. She was spray painting everything. She had her hood up. She had this beautiful jacket on. And I could never, ever remember a time when a Descendants or Zombies character looked as strong as what Red did. And I began supporting empowerment after I saw that music video, because empowerment was really what it was all about. It's really what took it home for all of us. It's always what took it home in the original trilogy. It's always what's taken it home now. And I think more people have grown on these songs because of just how relatable they were, because every song depicted a situation or circumstance that we may have, had befall upon us, or that we probably could have never made sense of, that there seemed to be no way out of. But I think that Descendants of Zombies became the answer for everybody because of just how powerful the music was. If never from the original trilogy, from this one for sure, because the song Life is Sweeter When You Were was beautiful, and it was a song that was beautifully sang by Ruby Rose Turner, because nobody could have done it better. But it really put an exemplification on just how much further kindness could really take a person. And I think that the song What Are We Going to Do in this franchise is really going to put into perspective just how strong the friendship and the unbreakable bond has always been between Red and Chloe. This is why I've never bought into the rumors. I've never really paid much attention to them about their friendship and how they were never really the best of friends, because what may have happened at the Worlds Collide tour was truly undescribable. I get it. But I think that, I know Disney's all, and I get it too, that Disney's always had this way of making people seem like the best of friends, like they're inseparable. But the thing about Kylie Control and Malia Baker, do we really buy into these rumors? I don't think we do. I think that they are truly inseparable. Inseparable. They are people who will always stay together for forever and always. If there were ever two people who defined what becoming inseparable truly meant, it was Kylie Control and Malia Baker, or it was Kylie Control, Malia Baker, and Ruby Rose Turner. I just did you one better. I've often loved this cast so much, but I still miss some of the originals. I forever missed Uma being the principal of Oradon Prep. I've forever and always missed people like Ruby Rose Turner for being the character Bridget, because as many of you know, She was my favorite character from Descendants. She always has been, always will be because of her kindness. Shout out to Ruby. I want Ruby to know that her contributions, I've always wanted Ruby to know that her contributions to this franchise will never ever be forgotten. And if there ever was one character at least that I took anything special away from, it would have had to have been her. You can make as many Descendants movies as you want, but without Ruby, something just has never felt right. I remember when last summer Ruby had announced she wasn't going to be a part of the Descendants Zombies Worlds Collide tour or the project moving forward. And I felt so downhearted about it. I was brokenhearted over it. And I took to social media and I said, why? Why are we taking Ruby out of the story? Is it because the consequences of time travel were removed? The concept of time travel had been taken out of it. You didn't really have to take the concept of time travel out of the story as quickly as what you did, because you could have left the door more widely open for characters of the past to kind of come into present day Wonderland and kind of mix things up. And I think with the Kingdom Cup games coming to Oregon for the first time ever, that's exactly what this story needs. Because if you're not going to have characters from the past show up, which they very well could, mind you, because of the Kingdom Cup games, you can have characters that we may have never seen. Like I've forever and always been waiting on Alice in Wonderland's daughter, Allie, to kind of come into this franchise because, again, she had one of these really bubbly personalities. And I think that Pink's bubbly personality is exactly what this franchise has always needed. You know, her personality often reminds me of my own personality because sometimes you guys will see me record these really enthusiastic videos because I love being enthusiastic. I don't love being this boring person who just comes on here and says the same thing over and over again and must sound like a broken record to all of you. Her personality has often reminded me of my own because she really fit the personality of this character perfectly to a T. I think that her character is always what this franchise has needed, and I hope that if there ever is a passing of the torch moment from Red and Chloe to somebody who's more than deserving of it, I hope it's Pink. I think her costume is beautiful. I think her hairstyle is gorgeous. I think she is forever strong, probably stronger than she herself even thinks she is. And I think that because she still has a long way to go, we should give her a chance, as we should Keanu Romero, because I think the character Hazel Hook still has a long way to go. She never has really been introduced to all of us. So I think that when she finally is introduced to us, it's going to really make for a beautiful story. It really is. I mean, what more needs to be said about it? I mean, you can put out as many 30-second teaser trailers as you want, 30-second to a minute and a half long trailers. But what do they really tell us? What tells us more? Somebody who is a diehard fan of Descendants of Zombies could tell me more than a 30-second to a minute and a half long trailer ever could. And I will have more to say on this as the days pass, because as the days pass, more people will watch the teaser trailer, obviously. More people will like the video. But again, what I've never ever wanted you guys to forget is that you are always and forever what has always made Descendants of Zombies so special for people like me. Because of you, I obviously feel stronger. I started lifting weights again. I started investing in all this equipment because I saw the boot camps they went under. And I remember taking away so much inspiration from what they had to endure. And then I would go online and I would read all these critical reviews that I had no time for. And if I was going to create a great review about Descendants of Zombies, it was going to have to be something nice about your favorite stars. Because I know there are people out there who are forever diehard Skylights. There are forever diehard Descendants of Zombies fans. And that's why I've always promoted the fact and this idea that you guys have deserved these moments. You've deserved them for quite some time. And I really do believe that there are more people out there who could say such nice things about Descendants of Zombies. So for instance, if there is somebody who believes that Red and Chloe will pay a trip to Olympus and pay a visit to Zeus, then that is exactly what you should continue on believing in. If you think that Red and Chloe are going to jump into a submarine, which is something that I would love to do, and dive to the deepest and darkest parts of the sea, then you should believe in it. If you think Red and Chloe are going to go mountain climbing and fight jaguars in the cold Arctic, then that's exactly what you should believe. Because the thing is, guys, your imaginations have obviously gotten the better of you. And I think that's what's so lovely about Descendants of Zombies is how a person's imagination can tend to run wild and sometimes get the better of them because inside everybody's imagination really is a beautiful world. Because some of these things that Red and Chloe have done, I would love to take myself up in the opportunity to do, like fall down through a rabbit hole. Even though I might fall down through a rabbit hole and die, I would love the chance to do that because the thing is, falling down through a rabbit hole makes you a believer in seeing these things makes you a believer in such things as the chances of falling down through a rabbit hole could happen for you. When you see things like Addison becoming an alien in Zombies 3, you say, okay, well, my chances of being beamed up by an alien mothership that's on the way to Earth to kill us all could happen for me. The thing is, when you see Descendants of Zombies, you feel connected to it. You think it's real. And I will admit to you that I was a guy who thought it was real. And I think that's forever and always what's made this franchise and this whole experience so worth experiencing, because we think things like this is real. So, I found it very cool how years ago I thought wrestling was real. No, I think this is real. I think how I think things are real, being a reoccurring theme, has really helped me, connect with a lot of people on both a professional level and a personal level, because I can share these stories that often relate to you about Descendants of Zombies. And that's what makes this, again, so cool. So I think that if you're somebody who's ever had an imaginative thought, because of course an imaginative thought begins with a connection that you've had to what you've loved forever and always, and these thoughts you've had in your mind for forever that you want to see happen for these franchises. Like, for instance, guys, do you really think that Red is going to have this new love interest and this new character for just one story? There's no way that can happen. I mean, Mal and Ben's story was told over three installments of the franchise, three chapters. It was never just told and completed over one chapter. And even though it was believed to have been told and completed over three chapters, it still had never really been fully told and completed. So, you take a look at the books, and there being 10 books, there could be 15. There could be five more coming. There was a brand new one released, Descendants Wicked World Down Through a Rabbit Hole, which was a cool title name for a book. And obviously, yes, the writers and producers of Descendants watched this show because they took that title from me, because I always wanted to jump down through a rabbit hole. Thank you guys very much for finally recognizing Jonathan Clarke, because he is the only true Descendants of Zombies commentator on YouTube, obviously, yes. I really, really appreciate these moments. I really, really do. And I've just loved being a part of them. I have forever thought Kylie Control was the most beautiful and most talented person that I ever had the chance to talk about, which is why if I was ever going to say something about Kylie Control, it was always going to have to be something nice. I think her brand new music video and song, Carrie Bradshaw, is really, hitting it home for a lot of people, really bringing it home. And she's really feeling comfortable about the person she has become. And this is everything that I wanted to see even more happen for Kylie. And I think that everything happening for Freya, everything is really falling into place simply because her heart has always been in the right place. And I think everything from the costumes to the set design to how the script has really evolved, because the script has considerably changed and gone much deeper. This is a much darker Wonderland, a darker side of Wonderland. And I appreciate that, because if you're fans of things like, oh, I don't know, Hocus Pocus and Harry Potter and riding broomsticks, then I think this could be something for you. Come to think of it, I would love to ride a broomstick. I don't know if I'd ever have the chance to do it, or I ever will between now and the end of my lifetime, but I would love to ride a broomstick. I saw Harry Potter for the first time, I think, back in 2001, and thought it was the coolest thing ever. I went to a lot of midnight movie premieres for Harry Potter. Again, thought it was the coolest thing in the world, and I came out of there saying, I want to ride a broomstick. And I think that if people think the same thing or have the same imaginative incentive, then more power to you. I love encouraging that. I think that if there's somebody out there who thinks that mermaids are real and they have a chance of having a best friend who's a mermaid or becoming a mermaid themselves, then again, more power to them. I think that after having heard thousands of stories about mermaids, I think we can find time in appreciating those stories, because everybody's story is different. And especially when it comes to fans of Descendants of Zombies, everybody's story about being a fan of this thing is different. And that's what I really appreciated. That's what's brought us to this moment. And that's what made people like me so appreciative to have the chance to be a part of these moments and share in these moments with all of you. So I've got a whole lot more to say on the new teaser trailer for Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland. If you have not seen it, it's on Disney's YouTube music page. So you can check that out now. It's already got thousands of views and hundreds of likes, which is something I would love to have here on this YouTube channel. So you guys are the ones who can help me out with that. By the way, guys, thank you so much for everybody who has recently subscribed here. Keep the love and support coming. Keep showing that love and support, because you guys are forever and always what's made this YouTube channel so special for me. And I just want you to know that just like last summer, I will be here all throughout this summer to talk about things like Worlds Collide Tour Leg 2 happening in the fall, Descendants 5 with Wonderland's premiere, the premiere of all these new music videos, the teaser trailer, everything thrown all into one. And the most beautiful thing about this is I know that everybody's opinion is different about Descendants of Zombies. I get that. I get where everybody's coming from. But I want you to know that you are seen and heard here on this YouTube channel, because you've obviously felt very passionate about your Descendants of Zombies characters and their stories because every character, no matter who we talk about, has a story. And they are more than deserving of having their story seen and heard by more people than even they ever imagined. Because when Liamani Segura can stand on a stage and say, my biggest dream is to perform in Madison Square Garden, I say to myself, because I've had a lot of people who've wrestled in Madison Square Garden who I've been friends with for years. I've had people who performed in Madison Square Garden. How can I make that happen for her? Because at 16 years old, she deserves to have that happen for her. Just as all of your favorite characters have deserved every moment they've ever had the chance to experience happen for them, and so many more yet to come. Give me time, and I'll figure out how I can make this all happen for them. It's going to take time because nothing happens overnight. But again, what it comes down to is your love and support for some of the strongest people we've ever witnessed, that we've ever had the chance to be a part of their lives. And I will just never ever forget the chances and the opportunities I had because it's Descendants of Zombies that were first presented to me back in 2015 and beyond, because what an incredible 10 years it's been. And now we shift our focus to the premieres of Descendants 5. Not only that, Camp Rock 3. Man, we've got so much to be excited about this summer and so much to discuss, so much to get into. So what are you waiting for? If you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you're probably going to want to go ahead and get that done right now, because I would love for you to be a part of these conversations. And if you've ever had an imaginative thought about Descendants of Zombies, I would love to know what that is. And I would love to continue to be a part of your stories and your worlds for at least a little while longer, because I know that even with how many people I've already met, I still have my work cut out for me and become the greatest content creator of all time, which I know is a long way away from ever happening. But again, 50,000 likes and 50,000 subscribers could beg to differ. Thank you so much for forever and always having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel. And as always, from my heart to yours, thank you so much for watching these videos. So what are you waiting for? Go watch the Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland teaser trailer right now if you haven't already caught it. It's a beautiful teaser trailer. It runs for only a minute and a half, but the detail is fantastic. 5 stars on a 5-star scale perspective rating. And I really do believe that we are in store for so many emotional moments together, crying together, laughing together. We're really going to experience every emotion in the book because of this one. And I can't wait to experience these emotions and these beautiful stories of these beautiful characters with all of you. Again, from my heart to yours, thank you so much, always and forever, for having watched these videos.